Imagine a large amount of emaciated horses standing along the side of the road, and as you drive by, you're able to see every single one of their bones. This will become more of a reality if horse slaughter is permanently banned. Now picture this, a young girl who has dreams of riding horses through wide open fields. But this is made impossible because of the situation she was put into. Her family went to buy her a safe horse at a local auction. They thought they found the perfect horse for her, but once they got it home and the sedatives wore off, this horse became extremely dangerous. That's right, you heard me correctly, sedatives. This is an all too common occurrence with horses going through auctions. These both seem like extreme ideas, but both happen all too frequently. Both of these situations could have been avoided if horse slaughterhouses had been legal in the United States. Horse slaughter facilities are a necessity in the United States for multiple reasons. Let's take a look at the reasons why we need horse slaughter facilities in the United States. First, I should define horse slaughter. Horse slaughter is the killing of the horses for the production of meat. With the buying and selling of any animal comes the potential that the owner may not want or may not be able to take care of the animal anymore. This is considered unwanted. Should the slaughterhouses remain closed, the number of unwanted horses will skyrocket. According to David Ferbada, the American Association of Equine Practitioners, or AAEP, are concerned with what will happen to the approximately 70,000 horses that are processed yearly if horse slaughter was not reinstated in the United States. Among these 70,000 horses are ones that are unable to be cared for anymore due to owner circumstances. If these owners do not have a solution to their problem, these horses will fall into the statistics of an unwanted horse. But why might you be so concerned about the number of unwanted horses increasing? The number of unwanted horses can cause multiple problems such as damage to our country's infrastructure, decrease the welfare of horses, lower the quality of transport of slaughter-bound animals, and allow dangerous horses to be put back into circulation. Now, damage to our country's infrastructure is a concerning topic. Infrastructure in any country is valuable and fragile. So if we're able to build the infrastructure in a responsible way, then why are we waiting to do so? The processing of horse meat in the United States provides over $26 million in revenue. This is according to an article titled "The Unintended Consequences of a Ban on the Humane Slaughter or Processing of Horses in the United States." This revenue could go towards other areas of need in our country. For example, it could go towards state and national parks, or it could even go back to the agricultural community to better those types of facilities. Not allowing slaughter horses to be legal in the United States is actually decreasing the welfare of the horses instead of benefiting it. We all want horses to live a happy and healthy life, so why should we be taking away one of their rights, the right to an end of life? Now, as Stephanie Davis describes in her article titled "AAEP Clarifies Stance on Horse Slaughter," the American Association of Equine Practitioners says that they believe that euthanasia at a processing facility is a humane alternative to a life of suffering, inadequate care, and possibly abandonment. Once again, if horse slaughterhouses were to be permanently discontinued in the United States, the number of unwanted animals would increase. Unwanted horses would then be subjected to the starvation and mistreatment that comes when an owner can no longer care for their animal properly, says Michiko. Could you imagine having nowhere to turn that would humanely treat your animal in the financial or domestic situation that you were in? It would be horrid. Another consequence of banning horse slaughterhouses is that the transport of these animals will no longer be able to be monitored and regulated like the USDA can inside of our country's borders. Since the closing of the last slaughterhouse in 2007, horse exports to Canada and Mexico have increased 148% and 660% respectively, says Whitcomb 2011. This means that these animals are having to travel longer and further and into a place that is not as regulated as heavily. Would the government have already defunded inspections of slaughterhouses and transportation of slaughter-bound animals? USDA can no longer inspect the transport vehicles. They can only look at the transport paperwork, which may be completely false or not even complete. What is this doing for the welfare of these animals? Nothing. So if our country allows horse slaughter, all of this will now be regulated. The welfare and transport of animals are not the only concern. The safety of the people involved with animal must be considered when determining if they should go to slaughter as well. The results that I received from my survey that I distributed were disturbing. The vast majority of the participants answered that they would not send the horse to slaughter. I will let you in on a personal experience I have with a dangerous horse. I knew a family that bought this small horse for their daughter. Well, it turns out this horse, anytime you put contact on its face or the bit, it would jump all 4 feet into the air and try to land on top of the handler. This behavior could never be trained out of the horse, and it was believed to be caused by some type of short circuit in the brain. This horse was dangerous. Horses are livestock, not companion animals. Animals are replaceable and humans are not, so why should we continuously put ourselves at risk to continuously try and fix an animal that could possibly never be rehabbed? The small amount of information and statistics only breaking the ice with the amount of detail about the consequences of banning horse slaughter, but even with this small amount, we're able to determine potential benefits that allowing horse slaughter would provide the United States. While the most obvious solution to the ban on horse slaughter would be unban this practice, it's not that easy. There must be many votes, debates, and bills proposed, but to help succeed in the goal of legalizing horse slaughter in the United States, we must make known of the benefits of this practice, and there are 4 of them. The first benefit is to cut down the number of unwanted horses. The number of unwanted horses has consequences on all horse owners and the country as a whole. Once again, as mentioned in the article titled Unintended Consequences of a Ban on the Human Slaughter and Processing of Horses in the United States, a large influx of unwanted horses damages the infrastructure. Another benefit is the protection of humans from dangerous horses. Passing a dangerous horse from trainer to trainer, auction to auction, and owner to owner is only putting more lives at risk. Once these animals are sent to the slaughter, they are providing goods for humans and other animals, so they did not go to waste. Allowing the slaughter of horses would also allow for there to be legislation and regulation regarding the transport of slaughter-bound animals in the United States. Now, there's still the issue of not being able to inspect the horses inside the trailers as they're being transported, and the only way to fix this is if horse slaughter would be allowed once more. But there is already regulations regarding the types of vehicles that horses can be transported in, says Natalie Anderson. She describes that horses cannot be hauled in double-decker trailers because it can cause injury to the body due to not being able to hold its head and neck in an upright position. The last benefit of horse slaughter is that I will touch on is that the horse meat provides another food source for Americans and others around the world. According to Orrin Dorrell, when he interviewed Representative Sue Wallace, she said this meat is very high in protein and low in fat. This combination could be a food source that individuals with certain health problems could eat. Ahern et al. Says that when compared to ground beef, horse meat has 55% more protein and 25% less fat, 30% less cholesterol, and 27% less sodium. This is obviously a much healthier choice compared to ground beef. This here is a picture of what horse meat looks like. Slaughtering our own horse meat would also provide the large amount of meat necessary to feed the zoos around the country. Instead of exporting the meat, and then bringing it back into the country, we could produce and consume our own food. The main solution to the ban on horse slaughter is to unban the practice. But by knowing the benefits of horse slaughter, we will be able to see a future with this practice legalized and take steps to making it legal. By legalizing horse slaughter in the United States, we'll see a significantly lower number of emaciated horses, and we won't be having to worry about as many consequences due to the large number of unwanted horses. Now that little girl who has always dreamed of galloping through open fields will be able to do so on a safer horse because more dangerous horses will be out of circulation. Her family will be able to have peace of mind as their daughter follows her dreams. The purpose of my speech was to persuade you that horse slaughter should be legalized in the United States. To help legalize horse slaughter, you can take steps to informing others of the benefits that horse slaughter provides us. You can also write to your legislators, letting them know that you support horse slaughter in your community and you believe that could help to build our nation's infrastructure. By the time we immerse ourselves in the fight for legalizing horse slaughter in the United States, I believe that enough people will be informed about the practice and benefits that we should have no problem legalizing horse slaughter in the United States.